What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa. I hope your day is about as peaceful as mine is. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you all for wherever you are around the world. I know that today is going to be a glorious day because my wife is on her way to see her beautiful, handsome, lovely husband. That's right. My beautiful, lovely, awesome wife will be here before I know it. And, I want to do this video of a sister, yes, one who has been on the YouTube scene for several years. I'm thinking maybe 4 years or so. I used to watch just a few of her videos and got to see her journey, got to see even some negative videos that people were putting out on her, got to see her in her travels, got to see her ups and her downs. Matter of fact, I did a video, if I recall, 2, 3 years ago, um, on her. And I did the video, not necessarily, and it wasn't specifically on her, but on some things that she was also into. When we talk about, I don't like to use the word voodoo. Some say witchcraft, voodoo, tarot roots. Some say, psyche and all these other things. Well, she was into that mix of thing, the African spirituality, if you will. And, I'm going to defend what I believe. And when I say defend, I mean for a lost people. When I see people maybe are out here and sharing their journeys and believe, or they're into things that they believe are the way for them. And, and sometimes when I see my brothers and sisters who are on their path, and it to me may be in a different light, I'm going to turn around and put my 2 cents on it. And what do I mean by that? I hope y'all all can hear me. Let me make sure I can hear myself. Yes. So what I mean is that, I did a video because of the fact that, I wanted to enlighten our people. A lot of these modalities and these spiritualities is not the way for us. I know that for a fact. 57 years and I walked the world, and I walked down my path that I was creating for myself versus the path that was already created in the light of the creator of this universe. And in with this young lady here, I did one video and I didn't even attack her, but it was about really just cleaning up some stuff that she was saying, because I know there were people who actually watched her who was watching me. So I knew I can go ahead and have a conversation. Well, something about ES that was always, she was always, I just knew a beautiful spirit woman who was on a journey. I knew she would come back. I knew it. I knew it. And that's why I never tried to blast her or expose her. I didn't get caught up in a lot of the issues she was going in her life at that time, because it was nothing more than a lesson. I knew it would beat her up to the point to where she would see truth and where she was headed in the direction was in, that she found her way back to the light. Awesome. This young lady here, I'm telling you right here, I sent her a message. I don't even know if she got it or not, but when she started to turn the corner, and I saw her talents. I mean, young, gifted young ladies, talents in video. I went to videographer school, and how she tells a story and how she can lay it out and film it. I was like, I like how you turn and keep doing, go down this route right here. I sent her a message. Well, lo and behold, as time went on, she wind up meeting up with a young man and turned around and wind up getting married. Her husband, this woman right now, is living her best life. And I am so thrilled and happy for her and her husband, because, when you see somebody come out of the darkness, I'll never forget this. When I first became a believer and I was in church, okay, that was my stepping stone to where I am today. The one thing would drop tears in my eyes when I watch men and women go down to the altar to sacrifice and to receive the Spirit of the Most High. Ah, that was the most beautiful thing I ever could watch, when somebody was willing to be bold amongst a group of people to say they're ready to turn their life over to the Most High and change a new leaf. I tell you, I shed tears every time. Yes, I'm the weeping prophet, Jeremiah. And um, it was beautiful. And so I want to play some of her video because she got into this so-called African spirituality that had an impact on her. And she states some things that I think y'all should hear. And I believe it would be edifying. It would be a means to motivate and build people. Let me say this right here. I've said it before. I'll say it again because it came from the Most High. Africa is a place that if you come into, it is here to help you. Now, I know people can say, well, what's God for? What is God for? The Messiah, Yeshua is for that. Of course. But you have to understand the spirit of things. We have been in the Western world. We haven't been indoctrinated, educated, and we were lost, and we dipped and dabbled in all these different type of aspects of it. We fall into these different religions and serving these gods and these different things. And yet, when you come into Africa, it's gonna wake you up. I ain't said to gravitate towards their spirituality. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. I ain't saying that at all. What I'm saying is that when you come here open spiritually, you get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You remove yourself from the clouded illusion of damn Erica, put the D in front of America, capitalize the E, or daggone Europe. I can say damn Europe too. When you come here, if you approach it without judging, the Spirit is going to talk to you and it's going to open you up. The very things that you believe are to be true, if you just watch around you, nature, watch the people, discern the spirits, it is going to break you up. I didn't say break you down, break you up. Breaking you up is in breaking you into pieces so that you can be reassembled. Why? When you see people who look like you, it has a total different impact than when you see people who don't, and you're in their community, you're in their economy systems, you are in their workplaces. But when you get away, who people do differently, work differently, operate differently, and you just be open, you're going to see some things that are going to create a havoc within yourself, a friction, in order that change can usher in and blow your mind and put you in a right place. You see, we know that we didn't create the earth, the universe. We know we didn't do all that. We know we didn't have no part in that. But even though people want to deny and all these things here, they continue on their life and they build these layers around their life, and they believe that they are something that they're not. Either somebody told them or the world shared with them, and we emulate and we project it out and we become it, and yet it is not us. So without further ado, I want to give you all a taste of this young lady's evolvement. I want you to listen to what she says, because she hit on some key things. And then she brings in her husband. I like when they say my husband, wife. That's what me and my wife do. My wife, she says my husband. I mean, and about this African spirituality. Let's get into it. All right. Let me. Okay. Let's go into this right here. Okay, hold one second, y'all. Hold one second. Y'all can't hear this. Apparently, you can't hear this. My bad. My bad. Apparently, there's something. Let me go back and redo this again. Y'all sitting up here looking at me, and I'm listening to the thing, and I'm glad I went to my. Okay, let's do this right here. Present. My bad, y'all. Okay, here we go. Let's do this again. My bad. Okay.
Business. And I wanted to travel all of the African countries in peace and quietness, just like the rest of them. Yeah. Did it happen? Some of it.
Okay.
I started eating all kinds of foods and drinking all kinds of drink that maybe I should not have. I started paying for things that I maybe should not have. I started praying to shrines because I thought that was the right thing to do, reclaiming my roots, dressing in African apparel as we're supposed to do, bowing to African gods, believing in African gods. Completely abandoning who I knew myself to be, because in America, they tell us that we are no people, that we don't know ourselves. We're just these slaves that, we don't know nothing, and we have to come back to Africa to find ourselves. Some of you don't know this, but I was actually robbed during broad daylight, thrown out in the street after someone came crashing into my room. See, that predicament actually began by a very naive American who sent me there. That whole occurrence that everyone saw publicly, this is the thing, I'm not placing the blame. It's just that I would never send myself to harm. It's just that sometimes we as Americans, we lead ourselves into places that we don't know because we've never been there. We never experienced it. So yeah, I was one of those who was robbed during daylight. I can laugh now because I got through it. This American that led me there had never been there, is a leader for many that are going to those same shrines that I was going to. This American that led me to where I went and found my demise also led so many other Americans here to Ghana, to the shrines, to pray, to get divinations, to correct their illnesses, to be healed of this and that, to find money, to bring their families together, all this and that. All of it is temporary. All of it is a scam. Long story short, I found myself wanting to build community here. I wanted people to feel what I felt. I just thought it was the right thing to do, like lead people where you think they're supposed to be led. So it's almost as if I cast this spell upon myself, this illusion upon myself that I need to abandon everything that I was and that I was doing, everything that I knew, and come back and reclaim something that was just not there. Another spiritual practitioner, a shrine holder. After a few months, I was informed by the chiefs that that was a bad idea because whom I was associated with, those whom said that they were helping me and doing all of these things, were actually thieves and parasites. I did not say these words. Neither did I really hear what the chiefs were saying at that time because I'm new to the environment. I don't understand the language yet. Even when it's translated, they're telling you something, but we don't really hear it. Even when I was talking, when all of this stuff was happening, people didn't really hear me because not only did the spell come over on me, it was on everybody that was around and looking. A complete spell to influence people to see us in a higher light, that this is the best thing to do for African Americans. Come back and claim your heritage and things like that. So, like I said, all of that trauma, all of those bad things that were happening, I had already completely moved on from that very temporary relationship. But unfortunately, the internet can be extremely toxic. They create stories, they create a visual of what they want the African American woman to be. We're not perfect, but neither are we looking really for problems. We're not looking for that. We're just trying to find a place to be safe and cool so that we can deal with our trauma. Even if we have trauma, just because a woman comes from America doesn't mean that she has trauma, you know? Or when you really think about it, sometimes maybe we just had some bad experiences, you know, but we moved forward. It's not really a big deal. So guys, here's how it went. When I'm coming into the realization that I've been bamboozled and that I've been robbed during daylight, I started working on myself, exercising, taking care of my mind, my heart, eating well, just focused on myself, focused on building. I meet my husband, my now husband. And this is when the earthquake happened. This is really important what I'm telling you guys, right? Because at that time I was actually being groomed to be a spiritual leader of my group, of the people that would come here from America. I brought in hundreds of people who believed me. They were persuaded by pretty much everything that I said, because this is Africa. You're supposed to believe it, right? The spell was not only cast over me, it was cast over anyone who was wanting to connect this way. So, like I just said, I had moved on from that situation, but I was still living within the compound because I'm the type of person that even though you're not seeing a person anymore, you can still be peaceful, right? Well, some people are not like that. So that is why we saw that blow up. And it almost looked like a love triangle. That's what the YouTube wanted it to be. No problem. Who's getting the last laugh now? I was living with devils. People that don't have God. And I was one of them because I believed things outside of myself. I thought I was supposed to come reclaim the heritage. You know, like, guys, I'm just getting started. I'm not even there yet. I'm just getting started. Total abandonment of self, total abandonment of everything I knew myself to be, for shrines, for a spiritual system that's not even helping the African people. So if you ever wonder, like, why is there underdevelopment in some areas? Why is the thinking like this? Why is that Africa need to get it together? Africa, they need to get united. If you want to know why it hasn't happened yet, I am sharing with you why it has not happened yet.
You know, let me pause. I'm gonna move on to a next segment over here. You know, she hit on a couple of things. She found God. I don't even like to use the word God, and I know that it is a universal word, but there are many gods. But when we talk about Elohim or we talk about Yeshua, God has no meaning. We have to understand that. This is why it's important when people say Jesus, like Jesus was a European concept. It was Yeshua. Yeshua means salvation. When you acknowledge that the greater creator, the Elohim, the I am that I am, the only true living God, if you will, the only true living presence of the power that is Elohim, when you understand that, and that spirit that came to her when she said she was bowing down to other gods, it saved her. That spirit is always there to save us. Thankfully, she didn't become so reprobated in her mind that she couldn't be saved. And that's the beauty of the power that is. And I love the fact that she did this video. And I love the fact that she admitted her fault. I love the fact that she found, or he found, her husband found her. Because I've said this before, you will never experience the fullness. I'm going to say this. People say, oh, show me that biblically. You will never experience the fullness of the Most High until you are married. Why do I say that? Because you have to understand, if when male and female comes together, they become one, You know, we keep saying he. Au contraire, you go into Proverbs and you're going to read what the wisdom is she. Always reference the wisdom is she. But I understand man writes scripture and man puts it in his own contextual thought or understanding, rather. But like she said, she is on the beginning of her fruitful journey. You know, my heart and love go out to her, as well as a lot of people been praying for her over the years. And I'm quite sure she knows that. I know that there were those who were trying to impute or input their responses in where she was back then in that life, and she rejected or didn't care to hear it. And but the power chose that she wasn't at a reprobate mind. Let me say one last other thing. She talked about the spells, and she's right. Y'all got to know who you connect with. You take on spells. You take on like spiritual identities or connections. You take on these things. And if you're not careful, you walk that out too. Now, the question of it is, because once a person goes and changes, how many of those people that you brought in aren't there or broke off and now they even stay in contact with you and they're still going on that journey? That's hard to deal with when you crippled people. But thanks be to the Most High and the forgiveness that is given, because even that person, the Most High, is not derelict of a duty to still reach out to that person. So there's no shame in one's actions. Let me go right here to this spot right here, because I thought I got a chuckle out of this right here, because it shows growth in where she's become.
Not read your own books. I'm about to go to church on y'all real quick. Matthew 24 and 23.
She's reciting scripture.
And if any man shall say to you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. Let me give you one more. Matthew 24, 26. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. And that's in the English translation.
Okay. Let me, even for those who may not understand, it said that there have been many people who claim to be Christ who come, and there are going to be some say, he's over there. He's in the mountains. He's in the desert. But don't go ye not. Do you know where he is? Or the power of salvation. Yeshua means salvation. Where is the spirit of salvation? Because many people search for freedom and liberty. That's why I said, you can't come get liberty. You can't get freedom just by coming to Africa. What it does, though, is tear down the walls of illusion where you were. Get out of the land of illusion and come into a place away from distraction so that you clearly can see and let the Spirit deal with you. Because in you is the salvation waiting for you to accept the consciousness so that you can have the Spirit. That's the consciousness of the Most High, Yeshua. That's the consciousness, y'all. Yeah, I know this church is twisted. Believe me, I used to be a minister in church, the four walls, and I used to preach, and I used to be in front of the churches. I used to be there. They got it twisted because they got taught by their masters. They went to these seminary schools taught by their masters. And I'll say this right here. Some might get offended. There is no way a European understands the scriptures that were meant specifically for a people. That's why they changed the names. They did, that's why they had the images. That's why because Christianity is about the touch, the feel, the see. They want God to look like them, the angels to look like them, Jesus to look like them. They want you to believe that, that this white savior has come to save you. That's nothing more than a ploy, a plot, a scheme for you to always subliminally praise them, being that you think that their God is a white God, a white Jesus. Let's go ahead and fast forward here. She brings in her husband, and they touch on something about this African spirituality. But listen what she has to say, he has to say. Beautiful couple. I wish them well. If I'm ever in Ghana, I'm gonna probably reach out to them because I have watched their new YouTube channel. I sent her a message too, saying I enjoy what they're doing and I'm watching the growth. Awesome. Let's go here. Let's listen what they got to say here.
Of wonder and beauty. We love you guys so much. We are here on our wonderful farm that we have been building. We have a homestead.
Yeah.
This place has been my refuge, my healing place to really get to know myself. And I keep safe right here in my husband's kingdom, because
let me put a brakes on that. In her husband's kingdom. Shout out to you, sister. You know how hard it is, man, to tear down walls when you got to say, my husband's kingdom? No, it's not. Her headship. People don't like it. It's a scripture. Until those really understand it, is when you're going to get set free. Her headship of her husband have brought in a walls of a kingdom of protection for her. When she was out there by herself, she said that y'all got to watch the rest of her video. I'll put the link in there. She was subject to so many vultures. That's why I did the videos on the last two sisters who died in Gambia. People know when you are alone, women, you become quickly the prey.
because I was out there, it was terrible what I had to go through. But we settled it all and we managed it. Now, let me say one thing to this comment. I'm just trying to figure out if voodoo is real. It's not so much about it being real. If you are in that life, it's very real. Like you become subject to it. There's a way to not be subject to it. And that's when we get into going back to
and that
God.
kind of thing. Come High Man Network, I'll join my wife and
Yay.
we'll talk about voodoo.
He has a lot to share.
Yeah, because my family and my grandfathers, I have more of them, they are very spiritualists and they are popular in our kingdom. And so we need to share in the voodoo in how it's helped and how it's destroyed. This is very, very important. So you come to High Man Network, that is where my wife is talking about spirituality and different kind of issues. So we would like to share with you guys there, like about the spirituality, about how it destroys people, about how it helps people. Everything have the bad side and the good side, and how you need to deal with the spirituality, and how you need to like hold yourself with that kind of things.
He has a phenomenal
Yes.
story of his own. A phenomenal story of his own, guys. And he was out of that before I was. And it took me, it's good that it all worked out the way that it did, because guys, I was not in a good place. He helped me on out of that. Yeah, it was not good. Can you imagine? He's from here. He like, let me tell you what's really going on. That's a blessing when someone from here can tell you the truth about what's really going on. That is our blessing. And if I can do my part with making sure that you land well wherever you are, I'm gonna do it. People don't like it, that's their problem. What you gonna do about it? I know myself now. I know what I did was wrong, and I've been cleaning it up and working it out.
Yeah.
And these are like, it's important that we share this with you. I would feel bad for you not knowing these things. You know, are people getting murked because they're just Americans walking around? No. I think that our surroundings maybe be attracting it, you know, like, unfortunately, we might be just choosing wrong, like, locations, you know, or maybe we've said something to someone and they're envying, you know, we don't know what's going on out there. So that's why we have to be informed about the mentality of the people in some places.
All right. You know, my hat's off to my sister and my brother out there, and I wish them well. And I know as they continue to walk with the Most High, there's more blessings to come. And let me say this right here, because I know there are people who have different walks of life in their belief systems. And, I know there are brothers and sisters out here who are into, the ancestors and, into different modalities of these different African spiritualities. And, I know, I get that. I get that. But one of the things that I want to say, though, is that, when I hear people say, for our ancestors, who are we talking about? Because let's keep in mind, we have some devilish ancestors. We had some evil, wicked ancestors. And so sometimes you have to be careful in what you invite in. We can say by, looking at scriptures, those who are powerful people who follow the Most High, those were ancestors that we can invoke and have a remembrance of. And that spirit of being obedient and following. But I'm not calling on nothing. I have no clue what spirit it is. You got to be kidding. I don't care nothing about no God. Look, let me say this right here. Just because we went into slavery don't mean every slave was on the up and up. You know what I'm saying? You better be careful who you call and worshiping and stuff like that. No. There's only one spirit that I know. That is that spirit that saved me, Yeshua, 1994, October the 7th. That's the only spirit, the spirit of truth, that what the scripture, the scrolls, the ancient writings say, that I only know of. And it's been walking me along the path of my journey ever since then. And so, what my sister is saying, that they are going to have the conversations in the near future so that other people don't fall into the traps like she did. Because we are lost people in America, and we think that, Africa must be home, and we think that we got to go ahead and get into the African spirituality because, many of us ran away from that Christianity and, ran away from, Islam and ran away from that. Now what you running to? What are you running to? Instead of stop, drop, and roll, as they used to say when it come to, you ever get caught on fire. I say stop, drop, and pray. Because when we know we are aimlessly wandering, where the hell do I come from? All we know is we were brought onto the shores, according to the history, from a land that we know nothing of. And now the doors of return have been opened, and many people are coming, and they're seeking, and they're gravitating. That's why your man, not your boy. You don't see me up here trying to look like, dress like, talk like. No. I'm not going to go out here and try to act and be like who? Follow who? Nah, I can't do that. I can't subscribe to many people trying to figure me out. You Muslim? Are you part of the Hebrew Israelites? I am part of the Most High. And though I tell people like, yeah, because it's all a pushback, you all, when I do these videos, the pushback against those impostures, when I'm saying to the people, look, it's a proven fact we are the beginning of humanity. It's already out there. And nothing can take claim of anything that came from us. We're the first. So we know the first is the chosen. So, you know, my sister and my brother there in Ghana, check out the channel. They did a great project building their house, doing some great things. And they got their journeys to go through. And this road is a long road as long as we have breath, and we will begin to be able to evolve more into perfection as long as we're following Yeshua. As long as we're following Yeshua, not following nothing else, we begin to watch the old layers come off. We begin to watch our new life become anew. We begin to watch the power that is within us begin to go outwardly. We'll begin to watch our desires to be blessed, our adventures to be magnificent, our children become grand and great. We begin to watch everything begin to flourish, because where we are now as a people, it's still withered. It's still down, because we're following, as the scriptures say, you shall be scattered, being that you was not obedient and didn't follow the Most High. You'll be scattered and you will serve other gods. Now, let me say this right here. If we were scattered into all these countries, people who are in America, people who are in South America, people who are in India, Afghanistan, Israel, people who are over in Turkey, people who are in Australia, people who are in Guinea, people who are in Japan, people who are in Philippines, our brothers and sisters who are all scattered around the world, from the Arab took the east of Africa and the Europeans took the west of Africa and scattered. Amazing when you read Deuteronomy 28 and see the curses, that there's only one people in this world them curses apply to. And that by us being scattered, what gods have we served? Now, that right there, we should put a pause on. Because if we have gravitated towards Christianity and the scripture says you should be scattered and follow their gods, what we're following is not the right. Because we know that the Europeans have always gone around the globe to conquer, to steal, to take, to rename, to rename, to create their own, so that they can have it for themselves. You cannot dig anywhere in Europe, this is a fact, y'all, and find anything spiritually from their past. Nothing. You can do it in Africa, or you can dig and find societies. You can dig and find temples. There are temples that have been erected. You can find that. You can find these things. And even though our people have went astray into delving into other practices, which scripture said they would do, we all can go back to the beginning, as simple as following and believing there is a true creator out here. How can anybody not understand that when we know we never created the earth, the moon, the stars, the planets, the galaxies? We know we didn't create that. You would think somebody would stop and say, how did that become? How did that happen? A question is the great thing to trip yourself up. So anyway, I wanted to say that, brothers and sisters, I wanted to share this video because it was refreshing to see a sister who was on a path to destruction. And she knows it. I saw her videos and where she was headed, to where now she's on a path of light, love, and joy, peace, gentleness, meekness, all of those things, faith, the 9 fruits of the Spirit, love, that her and her husband and her family to be down the road, however it be, will be blessed. And I know you, brothers and sisters out here, are ready for the blessings. We tired of the cursings. Cursings are here, are real. The curses still exist for those who don't submit. But it's totally up to you all. So anyway, I want to bring this to you all. Peace and blessing to each and every one of you all. I hope that your day is as blessed as mine is. I We'll be back with another video here shortly to share more about the sister who lost her life. They found the murderer or the alleged murderer there in Gambia. And so I will be doing a video on that here shortly. Be safe, be careful of your surroundings, because when you are in strange foreign lands, not just Africa, do not think people are not watching. If you're not trying to blend in and you trying to show out, you trying to bling bling, they coming after you. This is your man, not your boy, bringing you another gold nugget that you can either pick up or you can just kick it aside. I'm out, y'all.